nice too. I served 300 spaghetti dinners.
This meeting of the Rolling Meadows City Council is hereby called to order. Would everyone please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will please call the roll.
Cannon?
Here.
Prana?
Here.
Majikis? Here. Judd?
Here.
Baner?
Here.
Diastis?
Present.
Veenbos?
Present.
With 7 present and none absent, there is a quorum present this evening. Therefore, members of the audience are reminded that these proceedings are being videotaped for current and future broadcast over the city's cable television channel. The first item on the agenda this evening is a motion to approve 2 sets of minutes, one from the Committee of the Whole meeting on November 17th and one from the City Council meeting on November 24th. The chair therefore asks unanimous consent to consider both sets of minutes in one motion. Is there any objection to doing so? Seeing none, it is so ordered that such a motion is in order. Mr. Banger has made the motion, and it has been seconded. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to either set of minutes? Seeing none, the question is, shall both sets of minutes be adopted? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, and the minutes are approved. Under the mayor's report, I don't really want to take and be the hog for the Christmas tree lighting, but I just do want to make quick note that with the 60th anniversary year, the kind of closing event was the Christmas tree lighting. I'll let other folks speak to different parts and things, but boy, I think that may have been the biggest crowd I've seen in a long time, and I think that's just terrific. But like I say, I'll be willing to share as well. Are there further ward reports this evening? Mrs. Majikis of the 3rd Ward.
I'll share a little. I actually had my sister-in-law with from Carol Stream, and she said, Carol Stream doesn't do as nice a job. Sorry if she's listening. But no, and she said, what an amazing turnout. She thought it was really cool. So I think everybody enjoyed it. Thank you.
Mr. Prana of the 2nd Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll let Lori and who helped throughout the year coordinated and did an outstanding job. And you can give the plug for all the good food we had, especially like the bundt cakes. And for those of you that didn't come to the spaghetti dinner, you missed quite a meal. But I just wanted to thank the folks that all year long, the 60th birthday committee that worked all along, and they turned Station 15 into a little Italian restaurant. I was told, though, by our city manager we couldn't bring in any vino, but that was the only downside of it. So, and the only other report I have is I was told that they liked the way the city was lit up with our Christmas lights. They'd like to see them go a little farther down the road. And I said, well, we've had that discussion, and Mr. Voth told me that one of these years he's going to get a longer extension cord and make it work. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Further ward reports this evening. Then seeing none, the council meeting is now open to members of the audience for up to 20 minutes to address the city council on matters that are on the agenda or regarding other issues. We ask that persons wishing to address the city council keep their comments to 5 minutes in length. Comments must be addressed to the council as a whole through the mayor, and profanity may not be used in any form. Our only signatory on the sign-in sheet this evening is Mr. Glenn Chudikoff from Richards Building Supply. I hope I pronounced it right this time.
You pronounced it right this time.
All right, excellent. Well, welcome back to the microphone, sir. It's yours.
Thank you for having me. I'm Glenn Chudikoff, Corporate Director of Richards Building Supply. We are purchasing 4001 Industrial Drive and looking to have permission for a special use for outside storage. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for taking the time to be here tonight. As mentioned, Mr. Chudikoff is the only signatory on the sign-in sheet. Therefore, that concludes the public comment portion of tonight's meeting, and the council can proceed to its orders of business. The usual first order of business is second readings that are on the agenda, and there are 5 of those items this evening, starting with item A. This ordinance, if adopted, would approve a special use permit for permanent outdoor storage for Richards Building Supply, located at 4001 Industrial Avenue. Richards is moving to this location from Palatine, and outside storage of shingles has been their past practice. The Plan Commission has considered this request and has unanimously recommended its approval. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Diastis has made the motion, and it has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? The clerk will please call the roll.
Prina?
Yes.
Majikis?
Yes.
Judd?
Yes.
Biancher?
Yes.
Diastis?
Yes.
Veenbos?
Yes.
Cannon?
Yes.
With 7 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is hereby declared passed. Item B, this ordinance, if adopted, would approve various items related to the opening of the Bulldog Ale House in the former Chili's location at 1480 Gulf Road. These items include amendments to the planned unit developments of both the JCP Meadows and the Rolling Meadows Marketplace properties, a special use permit for outdoor seating that includes the serving of alcohol, and a variance allowing hours of operation through 1 a.m. through 1 a.m. Sunday through Thursday, and to 2 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. The Plan Commission has considered this request and has unanimously recommended its approval. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Diastis has made the motion, and it has been seconded. Under discussion, I'll just pipe up quickly and say that only in the interest of the city and in doing due diligence, the Banger family and Rooney families did some field research last summer, going down to Addison, and we were thoroughly impressed with both what we saw and what we ate at Bulldog Ale House. I think they're going to be a terrific addition to Rolling Meadows, and we're very pleased to have them. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? The clerk will please call the roll.
Majikis?
Yes.
Judd?
Yes.
Biancher?
Yes.
Diastis?
Yes.
Veenbos?
Yes.
Cannon?
Yes.
Prina?
Yes.
With 7 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is hereby declared passed. Item C, this ordinance, if adopted, would amend ordinance number 15-16 that was approved earlier this year for the Lexington Homes development on Kirchhoff Road. Specifically, this amendment would permit the property to maintain both the existing marketing sign and the project monument sign for a period of up to 2 years. The Plan Commission has also considered this request and unanimously recommended its approval. Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance? Ms. Majikis has made the motion, and it has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? The clerk will please call the roll.
Judd?
Yes.
Biancher?
Yes.
Diastis?
Yes.
Veenbos?
Yes.
Cannon?
Yes.
Prina?
Yes.
Majikis?
Yes.
7 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is hereby declared passed. Item D, this ordinance, if adopted, would terminate Special Service Area Number 1. This Special Service Area taxing district was created to finance the local roadway improvements that altered the traffic flow on Algonquin Parkway. The 2015 budget contained the final tax levy, and therefore terminating this tax district is the appropriate action. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance? Mr. Banger has made the motion. Is there a second? It has been seconded. Is there any discussion on the ordinance? Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? The clerk will please call the roll.
Biancher?
Yes.
Diastis?
Yes.
Veenbos?
Yes.
Cannon?
Yes.
Prina?
Yes.
Majikis?
Yes.
Judd?
Yes.
With 7 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is hereby declared passed. The final ordinance in for second reading is item E. This ordinance, if adopted, would amend the city code to specifically recognize that calls to police regarding domestic violence may not be considered nuisance activities. The state of Illinois has made this change to remove any doubt from a tenant's mind that a call for help against domestic violence might result in a landlord terminating the victim's lease by using a nuisance provision. This change would bring the Rolling Meadows City Code into compliance with existing state law, assuring everyone that such a situation cannot happen under state law or under the city code. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance? Mr. Veenbos has made the motion, and it has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the question is, shall the ordinance be adopted? The clerk will please call the roll.
Diastis?
Yes.
Veenbos?
Yes.
Cannon?
Yes.
Prina?
Yes.
Majikis?
Yes.
Judd?
Yes.
Biancher?
Yes.
With 7 in favor and none opposed, this ordinance is hereby declared passed. That concludes all of the items that are in for second reading. There is a single item in for first reading. It is item F. This ordinance, if adopted, would prohibit the depositing of shoveled or plowed snow onto city sidewalks or bike paths. Shovelers and plowers are still allowed to only take care of driveways and continue to neglect the sidewalks. However, this ordinance will prohibit them from leaving mounds of snow on the sidewalks that make walking difficult for pedestrians using the sidewalks. Is there a motion to move this ordinance forward for second reading? Mr. Banger has made the motion, and it has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Mr. Cannon.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to ask one quick question. I'm for this ordinance, but I was wondering, I would assume the city itself is exempt from this?
I don't know the answer to that question. I kind of hope not, because I think leading by example can be important. But Mr. McCall, is there?
No, the city's bound by its own ordinances.
So, this might increase the workload pretty substantially out in my area, because they cover the bike path all the time when they
In
plow.
terms of going past and then leaving the mound?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
So
sure
again,
then-
I'm for the ordinance. Don't misunderstand where I'm coming from. I just don't want to. I don't want to have them do a lot more work than they have to.
I think that that's certainly a valid point. I don't know that it would translate into a whole lot of time, and I guess I think leading by example is important enough that if it costs a few extra hours out there, I think we should do it. But the point is certainly well taken.
Okay, thank you.
Further discussion of the ordinance? Then seeing none, the question is, shall this ordinance be moved forward for second reading? The clerk will please call the roll.
Veenbos,
Yes.
Cannon.
Yes.
Prina,
Yes.
Majikis.
Yes.
Judd.
Yes.
Baner.
Yes.
Diestis.
Yes.
With 7 in favor and none opposed, the clerk will please move this ordinance forward for second reading. Those conclude all of the ordinances that are on the agenda this evening, bringing the council to the warrant. The document that releases all the funds for the obligations of the city that were incurred from November 18th through December 1st. The amount for approval is over $2.5 million, only about a third of which is related to the payroll. This unusually high amount is due to the purchase of an ambulance, a payment to the city's water agency, a debt service payment, and a health insurance payment, all hitting in the same warrant period. So is there a motion to approve the warrant as prepared by the Finance Department? Mr. Prana has made the motion, and it has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the question is, shall the warrant be approved? The clerk will please call the roll.
Cannon.
Yes.
Prina,
Yes.
Majikis.
Yes.
Judd.
Yes.
Baner.
Yes.
Diestis.
Yes.
Veenbos.
Yes.
With 7 in favor and none opposed, the warrant is approved. Bringing the council to the consent agenda for resolutions this evening, there are 5 resolutions on the consent agenda. Would any alderman like any of those items removed from the consent agenda for resolutions? Then seeing none, the chair asks unanimous consent to consider all 5 resolutions in one motion. Is there any objection to doing so? Hearing none, it is so ordered that such a motion would be in order. Is there a motion? Mr. Banger has made the motion, and it has been seconded. The question is, shall all 5 resolutions be adopted? Item H would authorize the purchase of fuel through the Suburban Purchase Cooperative for the first half of 2016. Item I would continue private disposal of multifamily unit refuse at the Glenview Transfer Station. Item J would approve the $110,000 purchase of equipment from Presidio of Rosemont, Illinois, for the IT division to create a central data center for city operations. Item K would approve a $39,000 purchase of 40 Dell computers for the 2016 installment of the 4-year computer replacement program. And finally, item L would accept a grant of easement to the city to perform utility work at 1601 Rollwing Road. Again, the question is, shall all 5 resolutions be adopted? The clerk will please call the roll.
Prina,
Yes.
Majikis.
Yes.
Judd.
Yes.
Baner.
Yes.
Diestis.
Yes.
Veenbos.
Yes.
Cannon.
Yes.
With 7 in favor and none opposed, all 5 of those resolutions are adopted. That concludes all the items of council business this evening, bringing us to staff business and reports, because I have no appointments nor proclamations, and the city clerk has no report. So, Mr. Crumstock, community items of interest.
Thank you very much. It's a long list because it is December. Obviously, we would like to thank everybody who participated in this year's United States Marine Corps Reserve Toys for Tot program. We did finish that. They already made one pickup, and they will be doing the second pickup this week with everybody, and we do appreciate everything that was donated. We also want to thank everybody, what you heard earlier in the night, everybody who participated in this year's tree lighting ceremony, fireworks, and the dinner. But we especially want to thank Public Works for lighting the way. There are more lights throughout the area. And again, we are working on the season as we continue going on. Even at City Hall, we have some new lights here too. And then we want to thank all the volunteers who did it really approximately, obviously we weren't clicking people in there, but over 350 meals with people coming into the fire station. And we do appreciate everybody who came, everybody who took some time with Santa, and everybody who took time with the reindeers, even the baby reindeer. But again, we also want to remind people that December's e-news and views can be found on the city website. We hope that people will visit it. And then obviously what started, and if you go to the website, the police department's social media holiday house contest campaign for 2015 is off. If you go to the website, you will see at least one house is over 200 likes. Another one is well over 100. They're catching up to each other. But the police department has this campaign to allow residents to promote their holiday decorated houses. If you haven't driven throughout Rolling Meadows, if we're done at the council meeting early, you can do that then and drive around. But again, there are pictures that are submitted through the police officers on patrol. They're also submitted by residents. We hope that people will go to that. We do have a generic email account. It's rollingmeadows@gmail.com, where you can put that in there. And then for additional information, please visit the Rolling Meadows Police Department Facebook or contact the Rolling Meadows Police Department at 847-255-2416. We also want to mention, and for many people at the Fire Station 15, you saw a box out there, but at 15 and 16, the Rolling Meadows Fire Department and the Heart of the Marine Foundation is hosting a winter hat and glove drive to benefit our military veterans. You can drop off new or used hats or gloves at either of the fire stations, as I've mentioned. The clothing drive runs through December 31st, and all donations are distributed by the Heart of the Marine Foundation to local area veterans in need. If you have any questions, please contact the fire department at 847-397-3352. And then obviously, as you drive by the fire stations, you can see that the fire department is doing their annual Keep the Wreath Red display. This program is to promote public awareness. It's an initiative that we have that encourages residents to protect their families by preventing fires caused by seasonal decorations. The wreath hangs at each of the stations, and they begin the season with all red bulbs, and we hope it stays that way. If there is a fire that is attributed to a holiday decorations, we take out one of the red bulbs, we put in a white bulb. But the good news that I can tell you that residents have successfully kept the wreath red for the past 8 years. So we hope this year, number 9, we can do that same thing. If you want any additional information on holiday fire safety, please contact the fire department at 847-397-3352. They will be more than happy to stop by and look over. We have a chief and a deputy chief who love playing with lights, and they would be more than happy going through the house. Obviously, at City Hall, we do have our holiday light recycling program going on. That's through the city, Swank, and Elgin Recycling. The boxes will be here until February 12th. It's good for new, used items that are not working anymore. And again, that deals with mini lights, Italian lights, C7 lights, C9 lights, rope lights, extension cords, a whole gambit of everything that's in there. And then obviously, we'll be mentioning this for the next meeting too, but the Rolling Meadows Museum, Historical Museum, has an open house coming up, and that is Sunday, January 10th, and that will also be from there 1 to 4 p.m. And if you haven't driven by the museum, you can see that it's all decorated for the holidays. The silver tree is out in the big front window that you can see. And again, the old historical museum is open on Sundays, 1 to 4 p.m. And then obviously, because we do have the chance to mention it for the next 2 items, City Hall and Public Works will be closed on Thursday, December 24th and Friday, December 25th, in observance of the holiday season. On Thursday, December 24th, garbage will be collected early. Please have your refuse and recycling out to the curb no later than 6 a.m. And then Friday, refuse routes will be collected 1 day late. And then obviously City Hall and Public Works will be closed on Friday, January 1st in observance of the new year. Refuse collection will be delayed by 1 day. And then the final thing that we do want to remind people, because it is the season, Public Works will provide Christmas tree pickup service for all refuse customers during the weeks of January 4th and 11th. Residents should remove all lights, tinsel, ornaments, and place the trees at the curb, the cut side facing the street on their regular refuse collection. With that, that is items of interest for December 8th.
Then the next staff report is the purchase order disclosures over $2,500. Both of them. Ms. Gallagher.
Nothing further to note, Mr. Mayor.
Number 3 then is the presentation of the Committee of the Whole agenda for next week, mercifully short.
Well, it gets a little bit bigger, but obviously we have 3 items that are on the list. There's a 4th one that would be added with the consent of the council at this point in time. But we'll be having a vacant property discussion. Community Events Foundation will be doing a roundup and some additional comments about that. As discussed last time, just a quick discussion about uncompensated absence fund and payments coming up. And then obviously the 4th one that we would like to add that staff is working on is between the Planning Commission and the ZBA, a discussion about combining those or where we feel that should be going on that. There is one more item that we might add, but because it's the season, we might not be doing it until January too. But at this point in time, we really talk about 4 items that we would be having next week.
And the chair asks unanimous consent to amend this Committee of the Whole agenda to include the 4th item about a possible combination of the Plan Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals. Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. Then finally, the presentation of the 2016 council meeting dates. Mr. Crumstock?
Obviously, before everybody else, per law, we are actually giving public notice to everybody out there that the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of the month, we do have city council meetings. The 3rd Tuesday of the month, we do have committee of the whole meetings. And this listing, we still have each one at 7:30, starting at 7:30. If there are any changes or additional discussions that we would have, or the need to change from that 7:30, we would actually be doing the posting per state law. But at this point in time, we are keeping our traditional listing of meetings.
And I would just point out the chair's intent. I'm a big proponent of leaving meetings where they are, even when that means we have a meeting on Veterans Day or things like that. However, just knowing the way the regular year flows, folks might notice a meeting on December 27th, which would actually be between the holidays as opposed to before both of them like this year. It is the chair's intention to try to keep that meeting from happening through clever use of scheduling things and so forth and so on, to try to clear the deck to be able to cancel that meeting. It's certainly a lot harder to get people to be aware of a changed council schedule than it is to simply declare a meeting canceled. That's nice and easy. If perhaps there are a couple time-sensitive items that might need to be taken care of that late in the season, I think it would be far more in our interest to add on a special meeting tacked onto the Committee of the Whole on December 20th. That's pretty quick and easy to do, and then still keep that December 27th meeting out. It's only if there is some press of business that has to be handled in a council format that I would see that meeting actually taking place. So that is my intent as we declare the calendar. Are there any other observations to make about the dates? Ms. Katoon?
May I?
You certainly may.
Do you want the 27th left on that? Because I have to publish that.
It must be left, yes,
Okay,
ma'am. I'm
perfect.
not proposing any amendments.
Okay.
I'm just saying that as it gets to December, it is my intention to eventually cancel that
Okay,
meeting.
thank you.
Anything else? Then seeing none, those are all the items under other business and reports. Are there matters not on the agenda this evening? Mr. Cannon?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Midsummer, I had made a request for a Committee of the Whole report for time management. I was assured at that time that it would be done before the end of the year. Seeing that the end of the year is here and it looks like it's over, I would ask specifically that it's put on January agenda.
Mr. Crumstock, may we ask why it hasn't made a Committee of the Whole yet?
Just with scheduling and trying to move to balance some of the other meetings, so.
Well, I believe the gentleman's point is in order and well taken, and there's not any more mixing and matching about it. Please add that to the January Committee of the Whole, and please don't bump it.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Cannon, is that sufficient?
Thank you.
Further items of other business this evening? Then seeing none, there is a request to go into closed session this evening for 3 different purposes. One relates to union negotiations regarding the police department. That falls under subsection C2 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act. Number 2 also pertains to union negotiations pertaining to the fire department under the same subsection. And the third item is an item of personnel that falls under subsection C1 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act. It does require a formal motion and a formal vote. Therefore, is there a motion to go into closed session for those purposes? Mr. Banger has made the motion, and it has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the question is, shall the council enter closed session for those 3 purposes? The clerk will please call the roll.
Majikis?
Yes.
Judd?
Yes.
Baner?
Yes.
Diestis?
Yes.
Veenbos?
Yes.
Cannon?
Yes.
Prano?
Yes.
With 7 in favor, a couple reluctant, understandably so, and none opposed. The motion is declared passed. Therefore, the council will now enter closed session. The member of the audience and member of the press are advised that we do not expect to take any action upon returning to open session.